I love it.
Live from the Pines, your favorite East Texas sports podcast, coming at you live tonight. Tonight we have James Grant, KETK Sports, joining us to talk a little Texas high school basketball. Big start of the week for the Lufkin Panthers. We played Melissa round one in Athens, and we came up victorious. I think we won by 14. Shout out to those guys, Coach Mack and his team. Get ready to keep it rolling. Big game this Friday back in Athens. Highland Park's coming to town. How you guys doing today? I know it's cold, but it's warm inside.
Cold.
I'm about to say doing pretty cold, but I'm glad to be in this heater right now.
That's right. I got the heat running overtime. I'm afraid to look at that electric bill.
I don't even care. I don't even care. It's man, I don't know what I was thinking yesterday. I left to go to Athens. I had the air on. I got home last night. It was 64 degrees in here, and Cayman was Cayman was just sprawled out, just big chilling. So he wasn't worried, but I turned that heater up about 72 last night and got the shower.
Were you sweating? Yeah.
I'm gonna have to crack the window at that point.
I'm not getting in the shower with a cold house.
68.
I get a cold bathroom.
It's on 72 right now.
Leave the door open to the bathroom. Let it steam up a little bit in there. It'll be warm when you get out.
No, it was perfect when I got out.
Hang up a few clothes, get the wrinkles out.
Exactly.
So, the Pack goes down to Athens yesterday. We played Melissa. Melissa had two kids they had a couple kids that could really go. They could really shoot the ball very well. But, one thing about Lufkin that stood out this whole year is the defense. The defense is one of the best I've seen in a while. They not the biggest kids out there, but, the way they play and get around and man up and just – basically, they don't take nothing. Those guys are very aggressive, and it showed in the first half. The referees were kind of on our backs with the fouls, and we got a little foul trouble. But they basically just dominated the whole game.
Yeah. No, I noticed. I was, of course, I was following the game on Twitter. I think someone was, just people tweeting about it. It looked like it was close after one. And then y'all kind of, added some cushion there throughout. But the defense, like you said, was the big story, holding those guys to 42 points. And, which is impressive. I know I was down there a couple weeks ago for Mount Pleasant Lufkin. I think it was on a Friday night. Yeah. And I think I saw you, Jalen, down there at the Pack. And it's funny. I think Austin Brown, was kind of trying to get it going that night. Mount Pleasant's good, as y'all know, but yeah, y'all's defense was, stifling. I mean, y'all, once Austin went, they started to really get it going, I think in about the second quarter that night, and y'all held on. But I think when you have a good defense, as y'all know, defense
travels.
It does. I mean, and that's huge. That's important because, I mean, you can score, but I mean, if you can't stop them at the other end. So you have to be happy about that. Hopefully the refs are a little bit better on Friday night. But
dude, it was freaking crazy how bad the refs were. And most of the time, you're gonna have fans, complaining, but it was actually both sides of the ball in the second half. Melissa's fans couldn't believe some of the calls that they were getting called, and the whole game we couldn't believe any of the calls we were getting. And it was just let the kids play basketball, let them play. It's a good game, it's a big matchup. You had Austin Brown versus their guy, and we basically dominated the whole game. The kid Skidder from Lufkin, that I seen him shoot a three, rebound a three, swing it back out, get the ball back, drive it, rebound it, go up again, get the rebound, finally got the jump ball. That kid flies around the court. I know we always talk about Austin Brown, and that's our guy, and he's a big part of the team. But it's so many weapons around this team, and they all have a role. And when you have a team that everybody knows their role and plays their role, you can go a long way in high school basketball, especially at the level we are in at 5A Division I. And you know, I think are we Division 1 or I think we're Division 2 in basketball.
Division 1. Division 1.
We are still Division 1.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I'm looking at the bracket right now. It's Division 1.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that, you know, we get Howland Park, then the winner of that gets Mesquite schools, then you get up the Red Oaks and all those teams. But, you know, this game really showed a lot about this Lufkin team. You know, the refs were on our back all game. They kept fighting. They kept, you know, swinging the ball around and making, you know, opportunities happen. And you get a guy like Marcellus Parks with the athleticism he has and all the traits he brings to the table. And coming out with the bench, especially, you know, that's a big role to fill. And he does a great job with it. And I love how, if you always watch when somebody shoots, like every time we shoot the ball or like, you know, we're going up for a rebound, you got 4 guys that's over the rim trying to get the ball. We might not have the size that we're going to be seeing Friday, but we have the bounce. And these kids are not scared of anything. I think Highland Park brings a 6'7", 6'8", and a 6'9" to the table. But I don't think that, you know, fears these guys. These guys are, you know, they're about it. And it shows. And Melissa did a good job. Like, I've never seen somebody take that many contested shots in a high school basketball game, and they would not stop shooting, and they were making most of them, you know, and we were right there in their face to defend them, and they just kept pulling it. And there was a freshman, number 23. I think he's a transfer in from St. Louis, Missouri, I heard. And to be a freshman, the way he shot the ball like, you know, he was meant to be there. And, you know, I think they had 2 on the court. They had number 5. He was a freshman also. But at the end of the day, our defense, you know, carried us through that game. Offense was a little shaky. We got it, you know, I think we got it picked up in the second half, and Austin Brown finally got in his game and, you know, basically did what he did. And, you know, it showed. And, you know, everybody knows Austin can shoot the ball. You know, that's something he can do. And I think he did very well getting in the paint and, you know, showing how big he's grown over the year, this past year, you know, putting on the size and the muscle in the paint this year.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 games before that, the team, they had 92. They scored 92 versus Greenville, 85 versus Sherman, and then just to hold them to 42 to basically cut that in half. In the playoffs,
they also finished 4th in their district.
Yeah, but to hold them to 42 and cut their team to half of that, I mean, that's you're usually going to win the game if you hold your opponents to 42. And I think James and Jalen was saying, offense isn't always there, but defense definitely travels. It's more of an effort thing. And I know JT and Coach Mack and that staff's always going to have them guys kind of playing hard with a chip on their shoulder, going after everything.
Dude, one thing I like to see with this group, and it's pretty cool, you know, obviously they're on a 31-game win streak. We're not going to jinx it, they're not going to little wood, but like Coach Mack lets them be kids. Like he lets them be kids and have fun and, you know, play basketball. And I remember yesterday, some kid, he was saying something to some kid. The kid was like, you know, basically, explaining his side, and Coach Mack just pats him on the back. Was like, all right, I got it. You know, you did right. Good job. And it's just like they're having fun out there. And when you can have fun, y'all can all play together. Like there's no ball hogs on this team, really. You know, everybody's swinging the ball, everybody's getting their opportunity, and that's a good thing. And like, there's a lot of opportunities. A lot of times I've seen yesterday, like somebody got the ball, and you know, I guess that's not his shot. And, you know, he just gave the ball up inside. We get 2 points going about our business. And I think that's going to help us out this road to, San Antonio, because it's a long road. I think it's 5 more games after this. I mean, after that one.
That's right. I think it's kind of like
I think you're right.
It's like 6 games total.
But what's crazy to me is you play Tuesday night, and then you have to backdoor and play Friday, and then you're going backdoor and play Tuesday, then backdoor and play again. Like it's just nonstop. So you don't have any time to rest or,
isn't that
prepare
what they do on a usual district schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah, but a district schedule is a lot different than going to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not a district opponent. You don't play them a lot. You don't have.
Yeah, you don't know much about this team. Like
Coach Mack was saying last time, you don't want to look ahead, but in order to put your team in the position to succeed and have a game plan on, you kind of got to scout beforehand on the possible outcomes and opponents you're going to play, just because you have such a short turnaround. But I mean, that's kind of how basketball is played. I mean, NBA has a 5-game series, 7-game series. They're playing back to back, so it's kind of part of it. But it's a hard deal, but everybody's doing it. So,
Chris, who all did you get a chance to go watch play? I mean, who are you going to be watching play, like this whole region and everything?
You asking me?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's like Chris.
You're good. That's my dad's name.
I'm texting.
What I do this time? No, yeah. So in Lufkin's region, who I'm kind of looking at.
Yes.
So I want to say, it's funny because Red Oak, and of course I saw Walnut Grove last night against Tyler High, and they looked pretty good. I caught like the kind of tail end of the third quarter and then the fourth quarter out there, but they look pretty good. I mean, Tyler High actually they could have mailed it in. They fought pretty hard there. They were down like more like 25, I think, at one point in the second half, got it down to an 11-point game. But I know, Red Oak seems to be one of the traditionally, of course, recent years, they've been pretty good. I don't know if y'all played them earlier this year or not. That I might be thinking of last season, Lufkin and Red Oak.
I can check real quick.
I think it was last year. I know we played a few of the Dallas teams early on in the year in those tournaments and everything. I know we got to play Plano. I know we played Keller. And that's another thing. I was talking to somebody and they were like,
we played Red Oak early in the year. It was 61-49. We lost, but
that was like one of y'all's only like two losses, I think.
Yeah,
Plano.
The only two losses came Game 3 and Game 5, Plano East and Red Oak.
Man,
so.
Chris, what's up, my man?
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Doing good. Have you got a chance to watch a little film on Highland Park?
Yeah, I have. In terms of the team this year, I would say Highland Park is probably one of the top 2 or 3 best teams we've played. They're real long. They pass the ball well. They don't dribble a lot. They're going to create some problems. They got a couple of guys that are probably 6'7", 6'8", and the coach over there at Highland Park, David Pyler or whatever, he's been there for a long time. He has over 600 wins. They're a good basketball team. Now, I will say this personally, I don't think they've seen a defense like us all year. In fact, I listened to the live stream last night from Melissa. They played some of the top 10 teams in the state with Frisco Heritage and some of the other teams all year, and they said Lufkin was, if not the best, one of the best teams defensively they played all year. So they really caused some havoc, especially for Austin Gooseby. He looked really looked frustrated all night, personally.
I think Lufkin is the best defensive team probably in the country as long as Henry Hu has a whistle.
What'd you say?
As long as Henry Hu has a whistle.
I don't think he's going to be ref.
What were you saying, Chris?
Do what?
What were you saying?
I couldn't hear what he said, though. Sorry.
No, just keep going.
No, I was just saying, personally, the thing that I've always said is what makes Lufkin special is McManus, man. I mean, we may not always have the biggest guy. Cole played, for Lufkin over the years, and we may not be the most talented team, but dang straight, we're going to play some defense. I don't, in terms of defense, that's what y'all talked about that earlier. We're always going to be there when you play defense. It's one thing that Lufkin's known for. They may not have the talent in terms of offensive, but this year is a little different. You've got guys that can score. I talked to Coach Lamb. Cole, you know who Coach Lamb is. Some of these guys. He said this year is special because in the past, you may have one or two guys, Cordell Rogers, some of those guys, but in terms of
can't forget Courtney Garcia.
Yeah, some of those guys and over the years have been special. But this team is just I don't know how to say it. I guess the best analogy is in the past we've tried to hunt people, but this year we're the hunted because we put that intimidation factor. I don't know. We played some good schools, Grand Oaks. They try to intimidate us, and we will not be intimidated this year. I just, I know I'm biased being a Lufkin fan, but this team is something else. So, anyways. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you kind of got the best of both worlds. You got the talent, and then you got the defense that we're playing with, and the energy that we're going to play with every night. So, I mean, it's going to be special. I'm excited to watch what they do.
For sure, Cole. What in terms of you saw a lot of talent over the years. When you were at Lufkin, what would you say this team is at? I know you're probably a little biased playing, but how good is this?
I mean, it's right up there. It's what I've seen. I mean, Dominique Shaw and them were talented.
For sure.
I mean, our group was talented. 2016, 2015. I mean, we've had some talented. I mean, we were playing 6A, but I mean, this team is right there, can play with anybody.
Right.
So, I mean, they're right up there with everybody.
For sure.
Yeah, y'all's district is no joke. I was going to say, y'all, I mean, I don't think you can understate like y'all going on the road to Hallsville and Mount Pleasant and picking up that Texas High game. I mean, the buzzer beater, that was a big one. I think that's a tough district, and y'all handled business. I think you got a lot of teams out there that they're good, like the record shows they're good, but like they might beat up on like inferior opponents, and then they get tested, but y'all seem to handle everything. And I mean, to only lose by like 3 to Plano East, and I mean a close game against Red Oak, and like like Chris, like y'all were talking about Coach McManus. I mean, I know y'all had him on the other night. I mean, he's got them ready, and you think it's one thing you have a great season, and then you go to the playoffs, and like you said, you could have one bad night, and and then you're hanging it up. And I think Coach talked about that the other night, and I think it's good to remind them like, hey, we've had a great season, but we just can't, every game from here on out, like we got to be on our game.
Yeah, the margin there.
Right, exactly. It's very slim, but y'all are, I mean, like I said, y'all handled business in that y'all preseason or before district play started, like you said, y'all played some pretty good opponents, and then in district, I mean, I think Mount Pleasant hadn't lost a home game in like 4 or 5 years. Y'all went up there.
It was a long streak they had.
For sure. In fact, I believe I did the math. I think it said they lost 2 games in 6 years at home, and we made it third.
Hey.
So pretty impressive. Another thing I was going to add about the Plano East and Red Oak, some people don't know this, but a guy that's been a real difference maker this year is Bryson Skinner. Well, we didn't have him.
That's number 2, right?
Yes, sir. We didn't have him in the Plano East and the Red Oak game. So I think that would have been we might have been undefeated at this point.
Wow.
Pretty impressive. So just to add.
Sure.
Yeah. I know that game, the game that James came to in Lufkin, we played in Mount Pleasant, that guard they had, the coach's kid. Me and Trey were actually there. And the way, we locked him up, and he was shifty. He was a little shifty, and he tried to do too much at sometimes, but he had to do that, sometimes because
he felt like he was the only one doing anything on their side of the ball.
He didn't feel like
give the ball to him.
He didn't feel like he was the only one doing anything.
Yeah.
And I just, like, we all touched on this and everything. We play great defense, and in basketball, if you can play defense and you have the ability to score like we have the ability to, you're going to win a lot of games, and it's shown. Chris, you're on mute.
Yes, sir. I think the thing that, in the past, we really hadn't had a lot of size. I'm not saying this is the tallest team. I mean, Cole's seen some of the bigger guys, with Courtney Calvin and some of those guys that were a little bigger in the interior. But we played some big teams early in the season. Grand Oaks had a big 6'8" guy. I remember we played Arlington Martin. I can't remember if he was 6'9", 6'10". And in warm-up or the game before, he probably had 10, 15 points in the semifinals. That dude got shut down. He didn't. I don't think he had a single rebound on us. They manhandled him. So,
yeah,
it's impressive.
It's very crazy how no matter the size of our guys are not the biggest guys in 5A basketball by any means. We are not the biggest on paper, but they just play with a dog in them, and that's what it takes. And I think that's going to carry us a long way. And like we all said, Highland Park's going to be big. But we have some guys that are not afraid to get up there and jump with them and, get physical with them. And it showed against Melissa. I think Melissa had the idea was they were going to come in and they were going to shoot the lights out and just beat us. And they got in that press in the second half, and we did a great job beating that press.
Yes, sir. Well, another thing I was going to say as well, Melissa, if you didn't know, that was their tied for the lowest scoring output all season on all teams for Lufkin did. So,
yeah, I was saying earlier they had like 80 and 90 the previous 2 games before that. So
wow,
that's nice. I was going to ask Chris. It sounds like you've watched a little Highland Park. Do you see this matchup? I mean, you're saying they got some 6'8", 6'9" guys. They have a couple shooters as well. How do you kind of see this playing out? Oh, wow.
What'd you say? Go ahead.
I was saying, how do you see this matchup kind of playing out with Highland Park?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, they move the ball real well. They can shoot. I mean, they're tough to match up with, man. I'm just going to be honest. That doesn't mean we're not going to, create some difficulties. I mean, I like our chances. It's hard to, won the last 31 games, 32,
yep, 32.
Yeah,
I think it's 31 or 32.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it goes back to the thing you talked about, Cole, and is when you can play defense like we can, we create matchup problems, man. I mean, like, I don't think they've seen a defense as good as ours all year. So the stuff they normally are getting, the easy buckets with their big guys, their shooters, we're in their cheeks, as they say. I mean, we're playing defense. They better come to play. So, I mean, they're good. I mean, no question. They're one of the better teams I've seen all year in 5A. But
let's see if they played. So they're 26-7, 11-3 in district. They lost to Allen by 20. That's
Well, I will say this though. I believe the last month or so, 1 or 2 of their starters was out for injuries.
Is he still out?
No, he came back like a week or 2 ago. So,
well, that ain't gonna do us any good right there. But like you said, though, the way we play defense and the way we create those turnovers and everything, it's gonna make a big difference. And you look at their schedule; they played some guys. They beat Nacogdoches by 40.
Right.
So that ain't saying that ain't 41 actually. That ain't saying much because we beat them by 40, I believe, also.
Yeah, I wonder. They're gonna play some dudes up there in that Dallas Metroplex. That's there's some basketball always being played up in that area.
Good basketball. Y'all think? I mean, this. I was just curious, like playing back in Athens again. Having played there last night, and then y'all go back Friday night. Just that familiarity.
Yeah.
Back. I don't know if that plays a role. Probably. Who knows? But I mean, games played on the court, right? But it's like.
I mean, I think it does. I mean, you see the same rim, you see the same court. I mean, it's a little. It's not a big deal, but it's a little advantage.
Yeah,
right.
Well, is there any way possible for us to bring our band like Alto did? Because
that was crazy. That was awesome.
That was walking in that stadium. I get in there. I'm like, damn, is that a band playing? And then we get in there, you see it, and I don't know. Hey, Chris, quick question: what's the difference between Melissa and Highland Park? You think?
So, I mean, they got some studs.
Obviously, size, but.
Yeah, Melissa, with Gooseby, he's one of the best in his class in the nation, of course. And then that freshman for Melissa, number 23, he's one of the top recruits, his freshman class as well for Melissa. Man, I don't know. I mean, I guess, they got a guy, I forgot his name, I think Henry Beckett or something like that, I believe.
He sounded like he can shoot.
He can shoot. They move the ball really well, man. They really move the ball well. But again, when you play defense, create turnovers, get in those passing lanes, you can really create some issues for them. But yeah.
Who else we got in our East Texas area? That's we got Hudson 1, Centerville 1,
Central
Tenaha 1, Central 1.
Yeah.
Got the cardiac cats down in Onalaska.
They play They have basketball on it.
Yeah, they played Central in that second round. So.
Yeah.
So where's that game gonna be played? Are they gonna come to Lufkin?
They're playing at Latexo out there, a small little gym. It's actually a pretty nice gym for a small gym.
Yeah, Latexo's not a bad district.
Where the hell is that at?
Outside of Crockett.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay.
small. Yeah.
Y'all got to watch out those small schools without football, man. They're dangerous basketball. They put all their chips on the table in basketball. Watch out.
Latexo is where the famous Austin Redmond is from.
Okay.
If you know that name, that is where the famous Austin Redmond's from. But like you said, Centerville, they've been playing some basketball. They've been hooping this year. Does anybody know what Kennard got done?
Yeah, they won. They won the first round. They beat the brakes off of who?
That's right. They won.
Chester.
They won by 42, didn't they?
So like 100 and something. I can't remember. They beat the brakes off of Chester.
I don't know much about Kennard basketball. I know they have that Harold kid from Lufkin. They have that kid from Lufkin. Harold. He's like 6'7", I heard, and I've seen him a lot in person. But I did not realize he was that tall. But he can go and he can jump out the gym.
Yeah, he's good.
What do you see Kennard doing in the region?
Man, it just depends. Let me look at the region real quick. I got to look 1 second.
Hey, James, did both Tyler schools lose?
So Legacy won, and then Tyler High lost to Walnut Grove.
Tyler Lee won.
So yeah, Lee's moving on. They got Mesquite Horn on.
Tyler High, John Tyler.
No,
old John Tyler.
Tyler Legacy's Tyler Lee. John, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
that's right.
So I will also say this is pretty interesting. A lot of the teams that we played this year actually moved on after the first round. Grand Oaks, Tyler Legacy. There was quite a few of them. I don't remember all of them. Silsby beat the brakes off a Center.
And John Tyler barely got in. They got in on that play-in game against Texas High.
That's right. They did. But again, that was a pretty senior heavy team who made, I think, the playoffs the past 4 seasons, and they barely got in y'all's district. So again, just a testament to how good that district has been.
It's crazy.
I know. But y'all, I know we were about to talk about Kennard. I was going to say, y'all, Friday night at the Pack, you got Bullard and Huffman Hargrave, which is actually a kind of a decent matchup. I know Hargrave has some stud kid that, I forget what his name is, but
I don't even know where Hargrave is.
Down there, kind of by Tascasita or just
Beaumont, a little bit of Beaumont area.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, Kennard, I know y'all were, I saw them play at Wells a few weeks ago. That was a dog fight. Two solid teams. You could barely breathe in that Wells gym, man. I was heating up. I was shedding layers. They
don't have AC in that new gym.
Man, I don't think it was working that night. They must have cranked it up. They must have pulled a Jalen and put it to like 74. I was like, man, windows are fogging up.
Yeah, I like it.
Sounds like the Panther gym back then.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm worried someone's going to slip and like take out a kneecap or something, but yeah, no, they look good though. Both those teams. I mean, Kennard, they're going to be a tough out. Them Wells. There's some good. Those two look really good. So,
what is Kennard? 2A, 3A,
1A,
1A. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't even think Kennard has a fast food restaurant.
No, they don't.
They
have a CBTX.
Yep.
And then they also have a really good. They have a good restaurant, a sit-down restaurant. It's like only open 2 days a week apparently, and it's like
what is it called?
I can't think of it, but it's like I know people from Lufkin that drive down there just to eat it. It's supposed to be that good.
Wow.
And I don't know the name of it, but
can't eat Ray's 7 days a week. Got to take 2 days off to go to Kennard.
It's crazy living in Lufkin. I can probably say I eat Ray's probably once every 2 months, once every 3 months.
Oh wow, you're better than me.
I've eaten it.
How many times you only reason you go to Ray's so much because you and your dad go eat lunch there all the time.
Yeah, it's a pretty common place.
It's on the opposite side. It's on the opposite side of town from where we work. It's on the opposite side of town from where we live.
It takes a while to get done. I mean,
it's good. Like taking nothing away from it.
Oh, it is, but it goes a long way.
But driving a minute down the road to get a double cheeseburger is a lot easier.
Yes.
And it's a lot cheaper.
Uh-huh.
You got that region pulled up, Chris?
Yeah, I got you, man. So they play in the area round against, who is it? Oglesby, the winner out of 26 1A. In the second round, or if they win, they'll play either the number 15 team in 1A. Let me see if Dime Box is ranked. I don't think Dime Box is. So yeah, if they win,
those Aggies suffered a bad loss this past week. I heard against Mississippi State.
That was last night.
Yesterday?
That wasn't last week. Last night.
No. Yesterday?
I heard that one. I heard that one hurt.
You heard or you read it somewhere?
Stark Vegas.
A little bit of both.
Mississippi State's ranked. It was an away game, but
I heard the gym in Starksville was empty.
Hey, true road
they
test.
stormed the court. So
They saw the Corps cadets show up. Everybody scattered.
yeah, they saw the batons.
Yeah.
I saw something.
Reveille barked. The team had to go home.
Yeah,
so
they
y'all,
look pretty bad.
Jalen is a Longhorn. Are all y'all Aggies besides him?
Mm-mm.
He's a Florida Gator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually the only one on here.
Yeah, I was about to say Cole quickly.
We did a whole show. We did a whole show with an Aggie legend.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm usually the only Aggie on here. Usually outnumbered. It's all good. It's all good.
I don't,
I say two Texas fans.
Trey, you on an Oklahoma shirt, a Florida shirt, an A&M shirt, Texas shirt. Let's keep going. I know you got some more. You probably got a Baylor shirt in there.
I got a lot of stuff in my closet. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But
hey,
are we going down fan history?
Would you rather have Arch Manning or DJ Lagway?
DJ Lagway.
DJ Lagway.
Oh my God!
He's more proven, right?
About the quarterback for Florida.
Yeah, from Willis.
Man, that guy he's from Willis, right? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, from Willis.
Yep.
He's a stud, man.
6-1 as a starter. The only game he lost, he only played a quarter and a half.
Against DeSoto, right?
No, he's not
college ball.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But at Willis, I don't know what he did in high school.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to DeSoto.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Who did Lagway lose to in college?
He played one
as
quarter.
A starter. If you want to keep throwing out the A&M game, there's a viral clip going out about all these rules they're talking about. They need to refine targeting, and the example they used.
I know that was horrible.
Secondary player out. So just sit there, lean back, and be quiet. And
Trey, we won by like 20. I don't think a butt targeting changed that game.
Graham Mertz playing half the snaps. Graham Mertz.
Lagway threw 2 picks that game. So I mean,
one thing we have not did is talk college football in a while, and I'm all about talking some college football right now.
I was about to say what
it's basketball season. Florida's ranked the number 2 team in the country. A&M just got bit over by Stark Vegas over there.
Florida's overrated.
Mississippi
They're going to get beat.
What are you talking about? They have the best backcourt in the country. Walker Clayton Jr. is going to be an All-American. Yeah. I mean, this is Florida. Todd Golden is an offensive genius when it comes to basketball. They are one of the most efficient teams in the country. It took Kentucky having a literal never before seen. I say never before seen. It hadn't been seen in like 30 years. 30 years is offensive efficiency. Like their points per 100 possessions was like at 160 clip. Florida still scored at a points per 100 possession at like 130 that night and got beat by 6 at Kentucky. I mean, this is the best Florida team that's been there since 2007. So thank you. I'm going to take the last time Florida was good and won a national championship.
You're gonna ride that wave, huh?
Yeah.
So was that was Joakim Noah, right?
Yeah.
That's Joakim Noah. That was Corey Brewer.
So Trey, are you gonna stand on? Like, I want to ask you a question. I saw something on Twitter today that SEC. That wasn't SEC Unfiltered that posted. Somebody from the SEC posted it. Is Florida, potentially turn into the powerhouse of the SEC athletics?
Florida is the everything school in the SEC next to LSU. They are. They have been. Look at the track records and look at what they've done.
Can we see Florida?
Hold on. We talked about the Lone Star Cup the other day, and that's the high school equivalent of what is the Capital One Cup in college. Stanford wins it every year because they're good at equestrian and diving and Quidditch or whatever, like every year. That counts. Stanford, I think, has won it, 15 out of the last 20 times. Florida's won it.
Let me say this, though. The closest to win the three major sports, basketball, football, and baseball, was the Texas Longhorns in 2005. Baseball, football, they went to the Elite Eight in 2005.
What?
Man.
What are we talking about? Florida is the only school to win the national championship in both and then go to the College World Series. Same year. What are we talking about here?
What year? 05?
06. They won a national championship in 06 with Chris Leak, threw 88 touchdowns in his career. Saw that the other day. Forgot. He's tied with Tebow. There's not.
I want to ask everybody a question. Do y'all think it's a chance that we see? I want to ask everybody a question. Is there a chance we see Florida playing for a SEC championship in football this year?
Yes.
I mean, I think they're not a bad team. The thing I say is there's more with the NIL. The parity amongst schools has really changed. Nick Saban no longer is there. So you've got a lot of parity. Florida is a really, what you would say, kind of a nice school. What is the word?
DJ Lagway on paper might be the best quarterback in the SEC going into football.
I don't know about that.
That's players coming
Arch
back.
Manning's pretty special.
I don't like him.
You don't like Arch Manning?
No, I thought you.
Nussmeier, he's good, but he has those games where he just kind of.
He reminds you of every quarterback that played at A&M.
The problem with LSU,
I can name like two, and that's only because one went to this town and the other one won a Heisman.
And you were there for 3 years.
The problem with LSU is you've got a coach that is something else.
He's
what's
terrible.
His name?
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Fake.
He says, I'm going to go somewhere to win the national championship, but
2 years later, his team was in the national championship.
Yeah.
Chris, do you see A&M winning the SEC in the next 10 years? No. I'm sorry. Not 10. The next 3 years. No, the next 3 years.
Another coach.
The next 3 years.
The problem. Okay, so let me say it like
I want to hear your opinion, Chris.
Okay, I want to be honest with you, man. A&M can recruit the dickens out of people. I don't know how to do it. They recruit. They find a way. Yeah. But
everybody pays money.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at the access that A&M has.
I don't understand how sometimes they lose. Some of it's injuries. I mean, they've had injuries over a few years, but
somebody's gonna get it right. God damn it, we're gonna get a coach one day.
I mean, there was a few years. What was it? 10, 15 years ago. I thought they were at the end of the year. They were the best team in the nation. Honestly,
2012.
What? Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, they were pretty.
We didn't play Florida the first game.
We were in middle school.
What happened that game? We want to talk about random games.
It was Johnny's first game. We should have played Louisiana Tech, but
who beat you that
Katrina
game? 2012. Was that Jeff Driscoll? Did you lose to Jeff Driscoll?
I don't think it was Driscoll.
Yeah.
It wasn't Johnny Manziel losing that football game. As much as I can't stand A&M, but it wasn't Johnny football.
It might have been Driscoll, but I don't think it was. It was the first game in the SEC that year.
I had a customer calling today, and he was a big Aggie fan. I think the whole family went to Texas A&M, and he liked to talk, and I like to talk college ball, so I sat there and talked to him for longer than I probably should have. But I think everybody's so excited to see A&M play every year because they put so much on the field, so much talent, and then I think A&M just finds a way to shoot themselves in the foot. And I've been saying that for months, but the way the SEC's going, it's anybody's chance, the way it's put on paper right now. You got Texas, you got Alabama, you got Georgia, you got A&M.
Why are we talking about
Florida.
Football? The SEC has like 8 teams ranked.
It's the best basketball conference now too.
Absolutely absurd.
Best football, best baseball, best basketball.
Who doesn't like talking about football? It's just everybody loves it.
February 19th.
There's so much going on in college football right now already. Like
it is basketball season though. March Madness coming up, and
we're going to get there. We're going to talk about it. Well, we can't talk about football for 10 to 15 minutes. I know James is ready to see the Horns play. I know Chris is ready to see the Horns play.
I will say,
I know you're ready to see DJ play. I'm ready. I know you're ready to see whatever quarterback y'all put out there play.
If Cole would be right.
Y'all don't know who y'all's quarterback is yet. Y'all have a kid on Twitter that I saw that was talking about maybe being in a competition with Marcel Reed.
Keep going, Chris. What are you saying?
I was just saying, in terms of the fact that NIL, I think that A&M could find their way to buy a national championship or a contender in the next 5 years. I mean, legitimately.
Did you see
so could Harvard?
Did you see the new report that came out about the playoffs changing now to like 12 to 16, no auto bids?
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be 16. They're gonna change it after whenever.
So what does that look like? Is that like BCS style where they're
working it out now? The way it's talking about, like the Big Ten and the SEC are trying to push for 4 automatic bids, but there's talks about people not wanting any automatic bids. Basically, taking the conference champions, they get it at large. All of that kind of stays the same, but re-ranking it 1 through 16 once everybody's in. So there is no disparity. Like Penn State doesn't get to play, anybody they want and end up, in the semifinals again. Like
so there isn't automatic bids, but conference champions do get in.
Yes, the way that
first round buys.
One of the stories that I saw, the Big Ten and the SEC want 4 automatic bids apiece.
Yeah.
That'd be half.
It's a little much.
I know people don't agree with me with this, but I think the Big Ten is the real deal. Like,
I agree.
A lot of people hate the Big Ten, and they say I'm not even including Ohio State. Like, you take Ohio State out, like, yeah, they won the national championship, but like Penn State, Indiana, Oregon, the list just goes on. The Big Ten is getting to that top tier level, compete with the SEC, and they've shown it.
Agree, 100%.
And a lot of people don't like to say this.
It's the same conversation every year. They think they're really good. They're showing they're really good, but like it's still the same 2 teams that are really good.
Yeah, that's true. But like
Penn State will have a flash in the pan. Big game James won't win again, and next thing you know, Michigan will win a national championship in 3 years, and that'll be the next Big Ten winner. In between, LSU, maybe Alabama, and Georgia wins another one. Like that's just how it works.
I don't think LSU has a national. I don't think LSU has a championship.
I would love
for
Florida to win it. I just don't trust Billy Napier enough.
Yeah,
I think Michigan in the next 2 seasons, because they got Bryce Underwood now. I think Michigan's going to be they're going to be able to run the table again and go win it.
When you have the third richest man in the world, bankrolling your team because his girlfriend or wife, whatever she is, likes Michigan, you got a good chance. But hey, there was big news in Lubbock yesterday.
Yeah, that's
biggest
crazy.
owner in Lubbock. He just sold his oil company, him and his partner, for $4.5 billion, and he'd already been given millions and millions of dollars.
Well, he's like the they're collective already.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I saw another thing that they're saying they might put like a cap space on some type of NIL in the future. Like
NIL
it's going to be done.
I was going to ask y'all something about that. So do y'all feel like in terms of NIL, I think players should get paid. I mean, let's be real. I mean, they're basically professional athletes. But I think at the same time, there has to be some regulation. I think that the transfer portal has become ridiculous.
No.
Yes.
No. If they're gonna put the money on the table, let these kids take it.
No, they should get paid. There's got to be some regulations on contract.
Who are you to say that I can't pay this kid $5 million to come put on a Texas jersey?
Jalen, I think you're missing my point. I'm saying because of the NIL, the transfer portal, I think that's the problem with me.
Why not? If I'm at A&M right now and they're giving me $750,000 and Ohio State calls me and goes, hey, you got a chance to come win a national championship, boost your draft stock, and I'm going to give you $2 million. Why not do it? How many kids have we seen in the last 10 to 15 years at certain universities die there?
Marcus Lattimore.
Die? I remember one person
Why not?
that I don't know about die.
Who?
What was the question? What you ask?
Do what?
They're so – if you look at the past in
Not
college
physically,
football,
like croaked over. That ain't
No,
it.
if you look in the past in college football before NIL was made public and we were paying people under the table, how many guys stayed at certain schools and didn't win a national championship, didn't get to the potential they wanted because there was money being given to them under the table that some other school couldn't afford to do, and now they can.
I think everybody's agreed they should get paid. They're just those kids that like Barry Alexander that has been to 4 different universities, and there's also those players that freshman year don't get played and they transfer out. When if they would stay, they get developed in a year 2 or 3. They'd see a starting
Who cares?
role.
That might not be their plan. Who knows they have year 2 or 3?
Now, Jalen, but
no, I'm not. Nobody's trolling. I'm being dead serious right now. I
so
don't
you think
understand.
the transfer portal, all that stuff is perfect the way it is?
It's screwed up, but nothing's perfect in this world. It's all screwed up. It's all screwed up. But who am I to tell a kid that's
Nobody
at Georgia? He's at Georgia right now. That like, hey,
You ready to have a grown-up conversation about it? Because it's not.
No, I'm being serious though. Like I'm at Georgia. I'm projected to start this year. I got a chance to play, but Ohio State has a better opportunity for me, and they're going to give me more money, and we have a better quarterback there. Why not let this kid go play there?
Nobody said
Look at Evan. Look at Evan Stewart.
Nobody said that shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
you're
You
basically
just said some
saying,
type of restrictions where you can't just go to 4 different schools in 4 years, or if you have a big NIL deal, there should be some type of contract.
There's got to be some balance. I'm not saying I disagree with you, but Jalen, the point I make is I think there needs some balance. I think they put too much into kids' hands that are 18 years old instead of the university. That's just my opinion. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's the same thing as the opportunity to high school kids. People can get butthurt about this. Recruiting happens in high school. Just being honest. Let's be real.
It's been happening.
Been happening for years.
How does a kid from St. Louis, Missouri end up in Melissa, Texas?
Exactly.
Like, come on, let's be real.
I mean,
look at what's that school? Sulphur Springs. Was it Sulphur Springs?
That had a good job opportunity.
Boy,
yeah.
I mean, if we look at economies, probably a better opportunity.
It's Sulphur Springs. What do they got in there?
I'd want to get out of St. Louis.
Dad's looking for a job right now. He's like, I'm glad my kid got a good opportunity to go link up in Melissa. Now I'm gonna go find a job.
Yeah.
As long as Junior's taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. If there's any 5-star, 6-star, 10-star out there that wants to move to Lufkin, Texas, we got Woodland Heights.
So he can't move. You need to offer it to mom and or dad. That's how it's done.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, Melissa from St. Louis, seriously?
I'll be honest with y'all. I don't get the transferring unless, like, your coach leaves. That's about the only time I get, like, I honestly, I'm, like, so against a lot of it. Like, the thing, like, Trevor Etienne going from Florida to Georgia, I never thought I'd see that. Like, a guy go.
Right. A rival.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm, like I said, everybody's got their opinions on it. But I'm like, I don't understand, it's like, because I'm looking at these Lufkin kids, like we're talking about the basketball team. I'm like, these homegrown kids. And I mean, I think that's a much better story than like, oh yeah, we got, this kid transferring in from who knows where. And like,
right.
Okay, well, the portal's hurting. It's hurting high school recruiting as well. Because these coaches want to win right now. They don't always want to Did
you see what Deion Sanders said yesterday? Yeah. He saves the university $200,000 a year because he doesn't use the airfare to go recruit, and he doesn't recruit high school kids because he wants kids in the portal only.
So can I say,
oh my God,
say this? If somebody took this wrong earlier about Jaworski, that wasn't a shot at Jaworski about the thing. My only point is Jaworski, great success in high school, college, but he had 3 or 4 head coaches in 3-4 years. I mean, and he should have got paid for it. I'm just being honest. The dude was a stud. But, I mean, it sucks to see a guy go to A&M. Nothing wrong with A&M. I wish – I mean, I have all –
he had maybe 2, but he had
did he
Franchione. He had Franchione as his coach. I don't know who else he had.
Was it Slocum?
I think he got recruited by Slocum. I don't know if he got there.
But I thought it was like 3-4 different offices.
Yeah, he said in our interview that he had like 3 to 4 different coaches.
That's what I'm saying, and it's
offense coordinators. Yeah, probably, but
my point to you is this: a guy like that, and he brought it up a while back. I mean, I believe on another podcast that he if he'd have known about the NIL. I mean, you never know, and that's not again. I'm not taking shots to Jaworski. I wish you.
No, I do get what you're saying though, and I get what James is saying because look at DJ Lagway. After the performance he had, there's no telling who was knocking at his door with money, and he already had plenty of money with the Gatorade deal and all those things. But it takes a special kid to stay there and not because let me tell you something. I don't care how much money I go. If somebody calls me and they say, I got $3 to $5 million right here for you, and y'all are only giving me $1 million or however much, I'm going. I'm going.
He got paid more. It's just not like the whole.
I get what you're saying
for the next 3 probably years.
It's like Quinn Ewers. If Quinn Ewers went to Ohio State, I would have cried.
Everybody's going to start getting paid more. NIL's not going away, but the schools are actually going to start paying these kids, which is going to cause some actual contracts, and that's what's going to be. They're going to be held accountable for that.
Yeah, because you hear those stories you hear those stories of them telling them a certain amount.
Yeah, like Bryce Underwood, he's supposedly getting paid $12 million, whatever it is. Right. That's loaded. That's not $12 million once you set foot on the campus. The whole Jaden Rashada, I think it's Jaden Rashada, his lawsuit against Florida. They broke down the terms of his NIL contract. It was supposed to be worth like $8.5 million. And then he went to Tennessee because it was worth 16, whatever. It was something stupid. But he was getting paid $60,000 a semester his freshman year. That's it. That's all he was getting.
That ain't nothing in the grand scheme of NIL.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a freshman. He wasn't planning on starting. He's not going to – I mean, and you have to be there. Like every semester of his junior year, he was getting – like $500,000 almost every 2 weeks. That's how it was working. Like he was going to end up making $6 million in the whole year, and everything. It's just backloaded, signing bonus, all that. And so these kids aren't getting their pockets filled the second they step on campus, unless it is the transfer stuff. Because what that's happening is they're getting tampered with. They're like, hey, we know you have a deal here. You come here now, we'll give you $600,000 right now. And then we'll work out the deal.
Some kids aren't getting paid what they're telling them to get them in the portal because there's no contract. There's no
exactly. That's on the parent. That's on the kid and the parent. You need go get your attorney. That much money involved. Get your attorney.
Well, you got to have. Not everybody
that's on their advisor.
Does that. And there's got to be some type of contract.
That's on their advisor. All these
in writing.
Yeah. They're basically they are agents. They are agents that are banking on the fact that them helping them now. Well, they can't
benefit them in the
their agent. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, and then I think I know y'all know about like IMG Academy in Florida. I think that again, that's like the root of all evils. I feel like because you got kids at the high school level now who are like, like I went to Grant Delpit, the Brown safety. I went to high school with him, and he had transferred around, and ended up at IMG, and then. I remember I played like JV baseball with the kid. He was, scrawny kid. And this isn't about Grant really, but like, and then he goes, he was at Lamar in Houston, which is a great program for football. And then he goes to IMG. And I think, he went to some camps, blew up LSU, and then boom, now NFL. But, I feel like that really, the growth of IMG and just showing kids like, hey, it's okay. Like you go here, like not just kids from in Florida going there, but like from out of state, you know, and then they get to college and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, we, you know, if we're not satisfied, we can just go. It's like a mindset thing. Like we can just go wherever.
For sure.
And that's like I do agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. I agree 100% with you on that. But until the rule is put in place, until adults step up and put that in place, I believe these kids should take advantage of it.
And that's my point, Jeremy. That was my whole point about. I agree with you. There's got to be some rules about these issues. Exactly.
That's what we're saying. We need the NCAA to step up. I mean, they won't.
What's going to happen with the revenue sharing? It's going to create. It'll be minor league football. I mean, there's going to be a collective bargaining agreement. There's going to be set salaries. NIL's not going anywhere because those are going to be the sweeteners. But you're going to have kids that are on a salary on campus starting freshman year. You know, if he's the left guard, going right for a left guard in the country is $150,000 a year, whatever it is. That's just what it is. The sweetener and everybody, the big boosters are still putting money in NIL to get a big signing bonus to get, you know, that Arch Manning on campus or, you know, Delpit, whatever happens. Like that, that's how it's going to work. And Nick Saban might be too old at the time, but I'm feeling he'll probably be a good college football commissioner because the NCAA, with everything that's going on, will practically cease to exist. Like there's going to be no reason for them to be there, especially in the college football side.
So you don't think there's a chance we see Nick Saban back on the sidelines again?
No, he's done.
No, he's making a killing in his.
He told her he was done.
Yeah,
he didn't even retire. He's on ESPN every damn day now.
Yeah.
Like, go sit down.
His old lady controls. You can tell his old lady kind of.
Right.
She got him.
Back to the main topic. Who's going to be in the Final Four of the NCAA March Madness championship games?
Auburn.
Houston. I think, you know, I say it every year, but I'm going to say Houston, you know, this year, maybe they get it done. I don't know.
The problem with Houston is they don't score enough. That's
right.
I love their defense. They
you're
just
right.
can't score.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the issue.
They play tough, but they don't. You're right.
You can't score. And that's not a shot. I wish Houston the best, but it's just
Auburn. They can score, right? Like they've been putting up
the best. Alabama can shoot pretty good as well.
Yes,
they usually go on a run. Florida.
Legit.
Much as I can't stand Florida, I guess would probably be. He's like, yeah, shaking his head. Yep.
Trey, you think y'all gonna run the tables?
No, I think the SEC is too good. I mean, there's 4 teams. I hate to include A&M in it because they lack on the scoring side of the ball too. Palpable, Buzz Williams. They're really good. So I think any of those 4 teams could win the SEC tournament, and then it's just going to be, you know, I think Auburn is very good, like very, very good.
Yeah.
Even though Florida beat them, but at Auburn, no big deal. I think it's Auburn, Florida, and then there's kind of
everybody else.
Alabama doesn't impress me enough as far as either side of the ball, but I mean I think, and I haven't watched Duke enough. I've watched enough SEC games to see him play. I don't know about Duke. You hear Cooper Flag. He is the main event, which might be one of the best nicknames.
I saw a kid this morning on TikTok from Duke that was shooting the ball lights out. I don't know his name. But he was shooting the ball pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Duke should be there, but they seem like they always come up short in the tournament. Yeah. They get the hype and then they kind of someone sneaks up on them. But yeah, like Trey, like I've been watching straight SEC basketball, so I don't know about Duke. I know U of H. They can make a run. Tennessee.
What do y'all think about the whole Kansas situation? God, dog, they just got the worst blowout under Bill Self era. They look like
they got to go a different direction. They're going to lose their whole fan base. They're already losing most of their fan base. You got to go a different direction.
Lord, they're terrible.
You think they'll get rid of Bill Self?
No,
I think
No, they won't get it. Unless he wants to go somewhere else, they're not getting rid of him.
No, because isn't Hunter Dickinson there? The 28-year-old that's still playing college basketball?
Hunter Renfro.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't blame him. Shit, get paid NIL. I mean,
yeah,
I really don't see him having a really good NBA career.
Is there a chance the Horns get the tournament?
No.
Yeah,
No,
outside of Trey
tournament.
Outside of Trey Johnson.
Yes.
They'll probably sneak in.
Are you talking about make the tournament?
Make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about the final.
Trey Johnson's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
I saw him in high school, Lake Highlands. Then he went to Link Academy. Dude's a stud. Won a state championship at Lake Highlands.
Did they beat Beaumont United? Chris, was that the state title?
Yeah, they were trying to go for the three-peat.
That's right. That was
they had that big 6'11" dude and Trey Johnson. That's just pick and roll.
So y'all do think the Horns have a slight chance?
I think so.
Making
Trey Johnson special.
Doing about maybe nothing there.
Horns women definitely got
Oh, dude. God, dog. Number one.
Right? Pretty good.
Number two.
Did you see South Carolina got beat by like 20 yesterday?
Yeah.
By UConn?
At home?
Yeah, it was like their 71-game win streak at home was broken.
And I think it was one of the worst losses.
Talking about women's?
Yeah.
Yeah. We show love to all sports around here.
Shout out
Texas women's basketball is really good, but I'm not like.
Oh, Vic Schaefer.
I probably watched when Caitlin Clark played against who was it, Angel Reese. I probably watched 2 minutes of that.
Which time?
Whatever they played against each other.
She's
they probably could have been in the WNBA for all.
I can watch Caitlin Clark
Oh, she's a beast.
She plays like a dude.
Basketball.
That guy in Dallas watched her.
That
guy in Dallas watched her a little too closely. Got in trouble for it too.
I saw that. That's wild.
We didn't hear from Cole for a few weeks. I was worried about
what happened.
Some dude was stalking her.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He got arrested, right?
Yeah. He showed up in Indianapolis, and then they showed him. He appeared in like at his court hearing, and he sat down, or he showed up, walked in. He was like guilty or whatever, and the judge was like, "No, wait, that's not how we do it." Yeah.
So one thing that I was going to say about what James had said, he was talking about IMG. You know, one thing that these kids, they want to go to these big prep schools, and Cole, I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to be a Lufkin Panther in terms of how it is you play Dallas schools and they can go to any school because really it's every 5 minutes is a school. Being a Lufkin Panther and wearing that purple,
I think Jalen and Trey, we've all kind of touched on it. It's kind of that community feeling of you growing up watching Lufkin, and it's kind of that's what you want to be instead of the NBA or the NFL. You kind of idolize those guys growing up, and it's kind of a community feeling. And like we were talking about with Mac, it's kind of those big city schools. Like I live in Houston now. I go to football games every now and then.
Right.
It's quarter, not even 25% filled up. It's not the same atmosphere.
Right.
It's the parents or cousins of the kids. It's not really the community that's behind them. So it's a whole different
vibe.
No.
Yeah, it's not a community feeling.
Like driving to Athens yesterday, Chris, I'm sure you could attest to this. Like,
oh yeah,
we were like, I forgot where we were coming through. I was like, they're from Lufkin. They're from Lufkin.
Oh yeah,
they're from Lufkin
for sure.
They're from Lufkin. It's a whole, it's that whole different vibe, and it's
absolutely.
Especially like with Cole and we were playing. Like I remember, we got out of school and the first, they were in the playoffs. We're on the road going to watch and play, and it's a big thing. And I like how our other sport coaches, like especially baseball and all these other sports that are going on right now. They make time to let these kids get out and go support their teammates. And that's one thing I want to I want to say. Like I told one of the kids at the game yesterday. Where's the student section at? It's round one of the playoffs. You're playing a team like Melissa. Like y'all can't get enough kids carpooled, loaded up, and
I don't understand that.
There's you gotta support your guys, man, and that's that's where I think that
somewhere down the road it got uncool to be at all that stuff, which is weird.
Even the student section of football. I went to the football game this year. I'm like,
it's not.
They're there, but they're just. I mean,
we got to find another way to get them involved.
I'll tell you one thing. It's probably better than our student sections were. They were probably a little cleaner, and not as hostile to everybody else.
Oh God.
We won't talk about that. We were underage. But yeah, I think I've said some few choice words, especially in a student section. I think Coach Cook still has the megaphone that I used when I was in that student section in his office.
I don't know. But you know,
not good.
Friday you're gonna need the whole community behind you. You're gonna need the student section. You're gonna need the people from Lufkin. And like I walked to my boss's office today, and I was like, "Hey, Friday Lufkin plays at 6 instead of 7:30, so therefore I'm going to leave a little early. You know, I gotta get on that road, go watch Pack play." And he's like, "That's fine." You know, you just you want to there's nothing else I'd rather be doing on a Friday. And anybody can tell you, Jalen is not the biggest basketball fan. Like when it comes to basketball, I'm not the biggest fan, but when it comes to Lufkin basketball, I'm there. Like I want to be a part of it. I want to be there and watch it up in front in person. Because like I'm not going to lie, on the road yesterday, when I got about 20 minutes on the road, the thought came through my mind of turning around and turning the stream on and watching at the house. But we were already invested. I got to go now. I got to go watch this and see it for myself up in front in person. But everybody needs to be there. Cole, you need to drive down to Lufkin Friday. You ride with me, go to the game.
I wish I could get off that early, but I cannot.
I'm sure you can figure a way out.
What part of Houston are you in, Cole?
West Houston, kind of by Memorial.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah. I was in Spring, but I moved a little closer to the job.
Okay.
Got tired of this traffic.
Yeah, you're right. Are you off I-10 kind of over there? Like,
yeah, straight off I-10.
Right off like the Katy Freeway. What exit do you take to get home?
Eldridge.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you're out past the Beltway, kind of.
Yep.
Got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You're gonna have somebody out there stalking Cole now.
Yeah, no one get too close.
Cole's like.
We touched on basketball. We touched on baseball.
I think what Jalen was saying is the YouTube stream. I think that's a part of it too. Is you can just sit on your couch and watch the YouTube stream instead of traveling and see it in person.
But that's the thing, Cole. It's like I
don't think it's right, but like we just
I think it's
on the radio. But some people just like the convenience,
For sure.
We love that GM Digital Media. We thank you for all those guys because without those guys, there's a lot of people that really can't get on the road and support, get to actually watch and support from home. So we thank y'all for everything y'all do, and I thank y'all for playing my commercial. I really enjoy that a lot. But we touched on basketball, we touched on baseball, we touched on football. Let's talk some college baseball. It's heating up. It's that time of the year.
I don't know about heating up. Bryce and Sam Houston's playing down in Houston right now, and it's was it 32 degrees outside with a 20-mile-an-hour gust?
20 people on the stand.
It feels like 20 degrees right now. So
it is freaking God. It's horrible.
Who's won the College World Series?
We just played one series. Nobody.
I'm quick back.
I mean, you know how I'm gonna say, but it's too early to say all that.
Who's that?
I think A&M has the best lineup, and I think they have one of the best starting pitchers in college baseball. But I don't think y'all have the bullpen.
Well, yeah. I
mean, our best bullpen, or two of our best bullpen guys are injured right now. I think he's coming back, but
one of the nastiest pitches you could possibly throw was it Cortez? What was his name last year?
Yeah.
Kid from Corpus.
That was redonkulous. But I mean, A&M top to bottom has the best lineup in college baseball. And Ryan
by
Brady.
far
It sucks too because the
anytime you have two people that's on the watch list for the Golden Spikes Award, you're gonna have probably a pretty good team.
The closer Oschenbeck, how you say his name last year, was going to come back. He tried to get a waiver because he played at Blinn at Brenham, but they denied it. And then Diego Pavia won his case or whatever like a month or two after he declared. Yeah. So he was going to come back. But, yeah, I mean, they have talent. But year one coach, I mean, it's tough. I don't want to – but we'll see. We'll see.
I don't think it's that tough when y'all have the lineup you have. Like, if you can hit –
But it's baseball. You know how sometimes it just doesn't roll your way.
If you can put the lineup y'all have on paper every day, and even if it doesn't, look the same every day, if you can keep the top, 5 guys in there and keep it rolling, y'all are going to do a lot of damage. if you can, like, I don't care how bad the pitching is, if you can get up there and hit 4 bombs a game and put runners in scoring position and hit, put runners on the base and score them, you're going to be good. Another team to talk about, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's bullpen. I mean, Oklahoma's pitching staff is deep. I think the bats are getting hot.
Yeah. Maybe they play Lehigh, so it's kind of hard to say. So, but that if
hey, shout out the Patriot League. They got some.
Some dudes. And is it like Bethlehem or however you say it, Pennsylvania?
Right.
Traveling down south just to get a game in.
Not shooting a slug, but Elon came to play.
Yeah, they were a lot better than I thought.
They came to play. They actually, I checked the score and I was like, "What the hell? It's 0-0 in the 5th." And
yeah, apparently the bats were soft. Apparently that for a Friday starter.
That guy's been there. That coach Elon's been there. He's been there 29 years.
I didn't even know the college Elon before last weekend, but
it's in
Elon. Yeah,
it's in the
Elon.
It's in the Carolinas.
They got a good journalism school. I might have gone there if I knew the baseball team was good.
Friday night guy's pretty good. Have you guys seen all the videos of the
Georgia kid?
Closer?
Yeah.
He's early.
The part I saw this morning when I woke up was when he dropped his glove, and then I was at work today and I saw him. He turned around to second base, stuck his tongue out, then shoved the strike three right there. Then he just drops his glove and walks off.
Hey, Coach Cobb have him running down the loop after that.
He wouldn't have been on the team anymore.
No, that wouldn't happen. Right. Yeah,
he wouldn't have been on the team anymore.
I think when you shove 100 with a pause windup, you can do whatever you want.
I can see Coach Cobb right now. Have you lost your mind?
Yeah, right.
Another big thing in baseball, Southern Miss upset Mississippi State last night. And then I also saw Liberty swept North Carolina State. And if you watch any baseball, North Carolina State's normally really deep. And then Southern Miss is pretty good always. Also, that's another school that you always see that can play a little baseball. But that's a big rivalry game right there. Southern Miss and Mississippi State, especially being that close to each other, I'm sure. And then you have the Shriner.
Midweeks matter. Midweeks matter.
They do matter. They do matter. They mean a lot. And that's like the series we had in Fort Worth this weekend. Not Fort Worth, in Arlington this weekend. Texas drops game 1 to Louisville. Then you go beat who did we beat?
So Ole Miss and then
then we Oklahoma State.
That's right.
I agree with it. Go play the best of the best.
Yeah.
If you want to play the best of the best, you have to be in the SEC. So
that's it. Doesn't it? Y'all see that kid from Mississippi State who's like, he throws right and left hand. Yeah.
Yep.
That's very impressive.
You'll see the kid last Friday.
Go ahead.
The kid last Friday, his mom passed away that morning. He ended up hitting a bomb that night. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
At Auburn.
That was very cool.
Or however you say his last name. Yeah.
What were you saying, Chris?
They barely pulled it off against Troy yesterday.
It's about an ambidextrous pitcher, right? Do you think that takes away from his skill being even better? I mean, you get what I'm saying? You're putting in both arms.
So how does the pitch count work on that?
There is no pitch count.
There's no pitch count?
No, I know there's not a pitch count, but how does that work as a coach? Do you just leave him in the game? Do you just leave him in the game and say, all right, you're going to throw 80 from this side, you're going to throw 80 from this side?
No. I mean, it's a lot goes into it because I think he was 95, 96 from one side, low 90s from the other.
But if I can come,
it takes a lot to throw a baseball. It's not just about your shoulder. Yes.
If I can come 92. If I can come 92 from the right side and then get you with one pitch from the left side at 98, 95, whatever you said, that's pretty deadly.
Can you switch mid batters?
Yeah.
Well,
I was wondering that too.
I think there's a rule.
There's a rule.
You have to choose one side, right?
I don't know if it's in college. I know it's in the major.
Yeah,
they're trying to speed stuff up.
Mid.
Yeah, because switch hitters, because they're there was an ambidextrous guy in the majors, and they just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's like, okay, come on now, what are we doing here? We can't just keep moving back and forth because I mean there is an advantage, lefty on left compared to righty on lefty, and
I think as far as
super analytical, so
I think as far as Texas baseball, yes, majority of what I've been watching, the
Texas
bats,
baseball, if their bullpen is good,
they're going to be really good. The bats are
they're going to have
there.
pitching. They're going to have a
And
start.
I really like what Slosh did with the freshman Adrian Rodriguez. He comes in 0 for 4, had a bunch of errors. He had 2 errors in the field. We get to the 10th. Slosh left him in the game, hits the bomb in the 10th, and then the next 2 days he just raked. And took a chance on a young guy. Don't kill his confidence. Don't pull him out, because once you pull him out, his confidence are gone. You leave him in there. You teach him how to fight, teach him how to battle, and he figured it out. And I think that goes a long way in college baseball, because there's a lot of guys right now out there that are young, that are getting they get playing time, and they're not going to see the success they want early. And Cole, y'all had what's his name?
Lord Covington?
Terrence Kill Jr.
Yeah.
He's a true freshman. He filled in for Sorrell, I saw, and he had a great weekend. And
yeah, he got like co-freshman of the week with the Texas guy, I think.
Yeah, he's co-freshman.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked pretty good with Sorrell hurt. I don't know how you take him out of the lineup if he's taking that. I think they might move the dude that transferred from Tech from left field to first. I think it's a pretty cool story with his dad being from Lufkin. And
you can't take him out the line. Terrence Kill's son, he lived in Georgia, I believe. He plays baseball at A&M right now. He's a freshman, and he had a hell of a weekend. Yeah, it's his son.
Football player,
yeah, it's a pretty cool deal.
What's Florida baseball looking like, Trey?
Good.
Can't deal with you.
Yeah.
Good like always.
Yeah. They have their starting staff is deeper than they are, and they've been in a while. The problem is the bullpen. They lost Brandon Neely out of last year. I mean, he was.
Wasn't that last year? Y'all struggled early in the season and still made it way to Omaha.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we just kind of floundered all year. It wasn't really great. Wasn't to write home about.
I got a question. So yes. I'm not really baseball is probably my least sport in the major one, but I was curious. So like when they recruit guys out of high school, right?
Yeah.
So you got their studs, Cole's brothers and stuff. And did they just recruit them to be like bullpen guys, or do they recruit them to be starters? How does that work?
When you're a pitcher, you just get recruited to throw a ball, and then you're going to fall into whatever you do.
Yeah,
you have to take advantage of the opportunities. I mean, there's guys that that just have the plus stuff that are going to get thrown into the starting role.
Right.
It's like that kid at LSU, the freshman. He went out there and dealed.
Yeah. And so when you can really, it's about being able to throw enough strikes and controlling enough pitches to make it deep into a game. Because if you can only throw one pitch for a strike, you might be good for a batter. That's about it. And so if they've got 3 pitches, they can throw them for strikes, and it's good stuff. They're going to be thrown in the starting lineup.
Do y'all still have that player at Florida, Trey, the hitter? Was he a freshman last year? What was his name? Lefty. That was
he got drafted. What's the
kid's
name?
I can't remember his last name, but it's kind of an odd last name. But he just raked. Remember when A&M played him?
Oh, not Lavalette. Caglione? Caglione?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Two-way guy.
So he got drafted?
He's gone. Yeah, okay. He got drafted.
I think the SEC and baseball-wise can go any way this year. I know everybody's talking A&M. They're hot. They're deep in the lineup and everything. But there's a lot of scratchy teams out there in the SEC. And I think, like you said, Trey, if Texas can throw strikes, Texas is going to be really scary.
Tennessee.
William Flores is one of the best players in college baseball at shortstop. He's good.
He's very good, but I also think defensively, Texas has never had a problem, but it's always been the bullpen. Like the bullpen, for some reason, cannot figure it out.
I don't know about never, but
the
problem is you've got
like
a 24-year-old in that dude that wears like number 86 or something that's still there, but he's going to eat up innings. I mean, so you've got experience in the bullpen.
Andre?
I don't know.
Duplantier or what? Yeah.
Yeah, Duplantier. Yeah.
Andre Duplantier.
Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, what was
SEC? The SEC top to bottom is just going to be hard to beat. I mean, there's no one.
Yeah.
The top. I mean, Clemson and North Carolina should be good. I think Clemson's going to be really good. Cam Ranella, whatever you say his last name, their center fielder is a ball player, just up and down. And Clemson's a fun team to watch. The coach is cool. They just play in
They have a lot of fun.
Yeah, they just have a lot of fun. What's going to be interesting, I think. I mean, Oregon State's supposed to be good. I'm curious. Stanford had a down year.
What about TCU? Are they pretty solid?
Yeah, they're pretty.
TCU took a big hit. The 2 weeks before the season, what was supposed to be their Friday night guy, who's going to get drafted, is having Tommy John, so he's done for the year. So
they swept Santa Barbara, or San Diego State was one of those two.
Yeah,
I was curious about
they played from behind all weekend, I think. What were you saying, Chris?
Yeah. I was just curious, again, I'm not too much of a baseball guy, but I see in the top 25, you've got a couple of those smaller schools that you used to see, Dallas Baptist, UC Irvine, and UC Santa Barbara kind of coming back. I know, 10, 15 years ago, they were the big Pepperdine and some of those schools.
Pepperdine, Cal State. Yeah.
The
mid-majors, the mid-majors are very good. I think there's some stat out there, like the year Coastal won in 2016. I think there's something with like the numbers thing, like every 8 years or so. It's like, okay, a mid-major is supposed to make a run. And so, I mean, that very well could be. I think it's Santa Barbara. I think it's got one of the best pitchers in the country. I can't remember who it is. It's one of those mid-major California schools that's really good. But DBU's always.
You think we'll still see as many or often mid-major programs doing that with the transfer portal? Because I mean, if they're balling out at the small school more often than not, they're going to get some calls.
There's so many JUCO kids out there that get opportunities to go play at those schools. That
it's a lot harder than it was. Like Coastal Carolina, people knew Coastal Carolina was going to be good coming in 2016. They were old. They had some dudes, but
East Carolina too.
Yeah, I mean ECU's always good. Are they technically a mid-major? I guess so.
Yeah, they always host the regional. It seems like.
Remember, Texas went down to that regional, and they were partying in the outfield.
That is one of the best atmospheres in college baseball. It looks so much fun. Yeah, it was a launch. That was 2 years ago because y'all had 3 years ago.
We had Trey Faltini, Ivan Melendez, Trey Faltini.
Yeah, that place turned into a launching pad. One of those games, the wind was blowing like 15 miles an hour out to left field. I think Ivan hit one that probably still hasn't landed.
I think it was over right field. Wake Forest lost.
He said he was super nice. He's one of the nicest guys.
Wake Forest lost their first midweek game in baseball history yesterday.
That cannot be true.
I'm reading it
there is no way that is true.
The Wake Forest Demon baseball team lost it. Hold on, what's it say right here? Wake Forest loses for the first time of baseball history a midweek game.
Oh yeah,
There's just
got shut out.
Yeah, they got shut out by UNC Greensboro. They got beat 4-0.
I saw Rio Grande Valley beat DBU.
Hank Warren's
shout out Hank Warren.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
He got like the player of the week or something. He made a catch last week or something. I saw.
Yeah.
Their conference player of the week. But can you imagine losing to UNC Greensboro? You're a top 10 team. They scored 63 runs in 4 games this past weekend.
Did y'all see the University of Rhode Island game?
Yes, it's like 32 to 20. It's like 32 to 27.
The freaking the run roll has ruined a game where we could have seen maybe 100 runs, which would have been ridiculous.
So what's y'all's thoughts on all these schools agreeing to use the run? I mean, not use the run rule on these early season games.
I think it's stupid.
Every SEC team has to use a run rule game now. Like if it's 10 after 7, the game is over.
What's the reason not to get more guys working?
Or not. Not to is it kind of makes sense to have a run rule, but it still.
I think it's because of the fact that you're possible more injuries. To be honest,
right.
Guys, you know, I mean, you don't want people out there forever for some game that may not mean anything in the longevity. You know,
the weather's cold right now.
Yeah. I can tell you that Rhode Island team would have loved to get in about 25 ABs in a game. That'd be cool. It'd bump up the stats a little bit, make you feel good about yourself.
Make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, right.
Is A&M? Y'all, I mean, Texas A&M goes to Houston this weekend. Is it next weekend?
No, they play Cal State Fullerton this week.
All right, next weekend. That's going to be a stacked tournament next weekend in Houston at Minute Maid. Well, it's not Minute Maid anymore.
Yeah, Daikin Stadium.
I'm gonna call it Minute Maid.
Always be Minute Maid.
Yeah. The ice box. Where they're trying to, it's Daikin Park now.
What? When did they change it?
It's like a Japanese
they sold the naming rights,
isn't it?
Yeah,
what the freak? When did that happen?
Like
what, a month ago?
Within the last month. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say. Like,
they just put the sign up though. I just passed it like last week. They just had it up.
Yeah.
Next weekend in Houston, you're gonna have A&M, Arizona, Tennessee, Oklahoma State, Mississippi State, and Rice all playing.
Wow.
That's gonna be stacked. You start the weekend off. They start the week off with Rice versus Mississippi State, Tennessee versus Rice, Tennessee versus Arizona, Oklahoma State versus Tennessee, Arizona versus Mississippi State, Mississippi State versus Oklahoma State. A&M plays Arizona, Oklahoma State, and Rice. I guess they didn't want to play any SEC schools.
So
I mean, they don't schedule it.
Another thing I was going to ask is,
I'm not saying it like that. Like they just wait. I guess you're just waiting for a conference because I know and Texas doesn't play Ole Miss in conference this year. I thought.
Who cares?
I don't know.
Or something like that.
The conference is too big. Not everybody's going to get to play everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason they would. I guess Texas probably play. I mean, A&M probably plays Tennessee this year and Mississippi State, so they probably didn't want to play each other early.
Yeah, makes sense.
What are you saying, Chris?
I was just going to say Rice isn't as good as they were maybe 15, 20 years ago, are they?
No.
Baseball?
No. That's probably the last game Anthony Rendon's played.
David Pierce is the pitching coach there.
No, where he's at now is Texas State. Pierce.
He went to Texas State?
He's an assistant there now. And they're
4-0. Yeah, they're 4-0. I saw that today. They're talking about they're turning their program back around because they had a rough year last year. We had a kid from Lufkin starting the shortstop there.
Oh, really?
Davis Powell.
Okay.
He ran out. I think he's at eligibility now, so he graduated last year. But Texas State's one of those programs like Texas State, DBU. Those schools like that are some sneaky schools you don't want to catch late in a regional or something because they will beat you.
I thought Texas State had been solid the past couple of years.
They didn't have a good year last year.
3 or 4, maybe it was a couple.
Last year wasn't good. Year before last, they were. I think.
Yeah, they swept Texas.
Who was it?
They didn't host a
Texas
regional. Did they host a regional?
Yeah.
Another.
No, they played the Stanford regional and got beat.
It's like Houston. Houston had a little spurt, where they were really good, and they just kind of. I think the program. I think Todd Whittington
10 years ago, right? Wasn't it? When what's his name? Green. No,
Cumbie.
Cumbie, that's what it was. Yeah.
You're talking about Tanner Green was there too.
Yeah, he went to TSU, right?
No, Tanner went to Houston.
Okay.
Tanner went to Houston. Trey Cumbie was there too. They were pretty good.
Yeah. Lovelace too.
Lovelace, yeah.
Lovelace was there.
Lovelace, yeah.
He committed to A&M for a little bit, and when he got in the portal, and then he ended up going to the Angels.
Oh, okay.
Free agent deal.
Yeah.
But college baseball is like you're always going to have the same teams that are going to always be good, and that's another thing. Vanderbilt has kind of. I'm not going to say they fell off, but they're not as dominant as they used to be. And I guess I don't know. Tennessee's running the state of Tennessee now, I guess.
Yeah, Tony Vitello's done a really, really good job there.
Do you think they're going to be able to keep him there for a pretty good bit of time?
If Texas couldn't get him away, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, because I know Texas was trying to throw a bag at him, and that's like with Slush and everything.
Well, he just got an extension, I think.
Yeah, after he turned Texas down, they gave him a big extension.
Well, they said A&M
probably use it as leverage.
Because apparently
he
has
what, Cole?
So they said A&M went after him too, because apparently he has some like family that went to A&M or something. But I mean, yeah, he's staying at Tennessee for a while.
Tennessee's a great baseball program. Like the last 5 years, they've been really freaking good. Yeah, and they have a chance to go win it again this year.
Yeah, and people don't like the way, but I mean, I guess you like him if he's on your team. If you don't, but I kind of like how they show their emotion and how Vitello coaches them. Yeah,
they have
kind of talk their shit a little bit.
And who yeah.
They're got that Italian in them.
Yeah.
He's like the Florida coach.
When A&M was playing, it was like the first inning, and he's about to get thrown out of the fucking game because the umpire didn't call a strike that was borderline. I'm like,
where was it at? Was it at A&M or at Tennessee?
It was in Omaha. It was the College World Series.
I forgot about that.
I guess you got to intimidate the umpire a little bit, give him some calls.
Yeah. Then he storms off, and it's like Moneyball. He's like sitting there in the locker room by himself, watching on like a 20-inch TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I said the Florida coach, a hothead too. Trey probably speak to that. Sullivan,
Sully,
he'll sit there and he won't really say much, and then one bad, he'll kind of fly off the handle,
Yeah, I mean those A&M fans saw it.
Oh yeah,
furious.
Right.
Yeah,
it's running pretty hot.
We don't speak about Sully in those terms.
Those me and David went to the Texas A&M regional game last year, and we ended up buying tickets. We didn't realize that A&M's always on the third base dugout line, like that's their we weren't paying attention to that, and we buy tickets on the A&M side.
Oh God!
And not even 5 minutes of being there, David, we realized we're in the wrong seat. And some like 30-year-old kid, 40-year-old guy with his mom there and his dad, he just jumps down David's throat. And I politely just walked off, and David was all about it. And he ended up walking up there when we finally found our correct seats and apologized. And then we get put in our seats, and we have 3 ladies sit behind us, and they're like diehard Texas A&M baseball fans. And David, like every time something would happen, David would turn around and look, and they just kept going back. Like they were, it got so bad that when, I think we had the bases. I mean, A&M had the bases juiced, and we got up and we were like, we got to get out of here. Like we can't sit here and watch this because it's not going to end good for us. And we ended up walking down, and we get outside of Olson, and some tight end transfer from Washington playing football at A&M, like was ready to, basically snap our heads off. And David was not going to back down from a good argument. And we basically, the whole talk was about, waiting for football season because that game was coming up. And, David did not let him, hear it easy. He told him exactly what was going to happen come football season. And that guy had other, words of choice to say to us. And I told David it was probably best that we eliminate ourselves from the situation because neither one of us stand a chance with these guys.
Man, the best smack talking game I ever been to as a fan was the 2009 state championship for Lufkin and El Paso Socorro.
Oh
God, I mean, so much.
On the other side,
they were beating the trash cans.
Oh,
they had trash cans. They had the rubber chickens. They
Sterling Myers. God, dog, he was talking so much trash. Oh my God!
I swear those players were like 25 though.
Do what?
Yeah, the average
El Paso teams were like 25.
Corey Falvey, the guy that hit the freaking grand slam and 3-run bomb. Yeah, I bet you he was 25.
I don't know. They had that catcher with the red mohawk. That's like
the Rooster. The Rooster. That's what was the nickname. Well. Yeah,
that's the one that hit the grand slam, wasn't it?
No, the guy that hit the grand slam, or I think he was a left fielder. It was Corey Falvey, but the guy, I actually, what's funny, if y'all didn't know, I looked up the stats of that team, El Paso Socorro, a couple of days ago. I believe they still hold the record for most home runs in the season by one team. Their batting average was like I don't know, like 400 overall. Their top 3 hitters batted over 500. They were ridiculous. That's the reason why they were the number 1 team in the nation that year. So,
of course, Lufkin runs into them.
The one year that we're freaking dang good, we had to bust.
I don't know. Lufkin baseball had a lot of years we were dang good.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing about Coach Cobb's program and, the guys that were there before him. They always – I don't know how we do it in this small town, but we produce a hell of a baseball team, and we continue to do it.
For sure.
So, James, where you headed Friday?
So it's looking like I'm going out to Farmersville.
Oh my God! You can't. They won't let you go to Athens.
I don't know. It's not a done deal, but because I did see.
You need to go to Athens.
I know. I'm going to try to pull some strings. That would be a good because I think so. The Pack are playing. What time do y'all play again? Y'all
6.
Y'all are at 6.
And Tyler Legacy plays right after.
That's the one. So that
they play right after there.
Yeah, they play.
Who are they playing?
Mesquite Horn.
Horn. They're a top 25 team out of 6.
And Mesquite's a team. Right. No, Mesquite's 6A.
Yeah, I meant 6A. They're top 25 out of 6A.
So we're looking at playing what Mesquite school is it a chance we're gonna play?
Mesquite, West Mesquite.
Oh, West Mesquite. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. See, we got yeah.
You need to make that trip.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. I don't know yet. I think we were thinking about because Winsboro girls are playing in Farmersville Friday night, and that game is to go to the state semis because the girls' state is next week, and we haven't really gotten Winsboro yet. So it's looking like maybe I think Mount Pleasant's playing in Royce City at like 6:30. So that may be where I get Mount Pleasant and then go up there. But I don't, I think we're knock on wood. We're kind of rolling the dice. We feel like the Pack are going to take care of business. So, we're like, maybe we'll, next week.
We can't jump the gun though. We still gotta get there.
Yeah, I know. Well, like I said, I was looking potentially, I don't want to look ahead, but I was looking ahead and it like y'all were just saying, it looks like it'd either be West Mesquite or Belton next week for the Pack. So that game, I guess if it's West Mesquite, maybe y'all play
Athens
around here again.
Athens, it was probably Athens again.
Same deal. So in Belton, I don't know where
Fairfield, probably something like that. Fairfield.
They got a big gym out there, so
they got a nice gym.
Yeah,
Coach Bays is actually originally from Fairfield.
From Fairfield, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Well, guys, we thank y'all for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate you, Chris Jackson, fan from the stands, James Grant, KTK Sports. We thank y'all. James, you be safe on that road. I know you got to do a lot of traveling. I know Chris will be headed to the game also. Sure. Trey's got to go up and watch his brother play, and Cole's just making an excuse. He can't take off work to go watch the Pack play. So it's one of those things, you got to make priorities, and priorities is going to be playoff sports and Lufkin.
Man, Cole, you going to let him talk to you like that?
He talks crazy every day. It's all good. The Pack going to take care of business. So we'll be supporting them. We'll be supporting them.
And we hope so. Shout out to those guys again. If you can, you're watching, get out on the road Friday. Pack plays at 6 in Athens. Go support. I know we'll be there. I can't miss that game. It's hard to miss Lufkin playing in the playoffs. And, the success they've had, these kids deserve all our support and the community behind them. But, again, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Before we let you go, give a shout-out to our guy Austin Brown with Zilker Belts. Use discount code PINES936 for all online orders, 25% off, www.zilkerbelts.com. Thank you guys again for tuning in and hearing us go across the board with all sports tonight.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy.